Hey, I see I got one person in here. Who is it? Are you going to chat? Or are you just here to see how little my audience is going to be? Hey, River. How are you doing tonight, River? I've got a dog climbing all over me. I know. I was just being a little sarcastic there. It's my fault. Like I said on my last live, I kind of dropped the ball and haven't been consistent with my lives, but I'm going to start trying to do them more often for you guys. Yeah, I'm about to have a wardrobe malfunction here. Wouldn't that be the talk of YouTube? Dog pull my shirt all the way down. Okay, Sugar Pie, that's fine. Glad you're here. Hey, Lene. Hey, Shay. How are you guys doing tonight? Like I said in the description, it's an open topic, open panel. Anything you want to talk about is fine with me. The only thing that's off limits is kids. But other than that, we can talk about whatever anybody wants to talk about. If you want to come up on panel, I don't think I've ever had a panel guest, but we'll figure it out. I'll get you up here. Whatever you guys want to do. Does anybody know the rules as far as vaping and smoking on camera? I've heard both ways. I've heard you can't do it. I've heard you can do it. But, I mean, I'm not monetized, so I guess it doesn't matter. So I'm going to vape while we're live here. Yeah, how long ago was that, River? They I don't know if it was January 1st or when it was, but supposedly YouTube came out with a whole bunch of new rules. And like I said, I've heard it both ways. I've heard you can smoke on camera, but you can't light it on camera. I don't know. That sounds weird to me. But I've heard that. I've heard you can do it, you can't do it. So I really don't know. I guess I need to look into all that, especially when I get some more subscribers and get closer to being monetized. Yeah, River. They came out with a whole. I've heard it's pretty long, whole list of new rules and things like that. Like I said, I don't know if it was January 1st when the year changed or what, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of subscribers, so I don't think I'm on their radar. So I've been to my daughter is in the marching band. She's a senior, and she does color guard, which is the girls, with the flags and that. And they also have a jazz band. Now, she's not in the jazz band, but, they're all one family, and we had a dinner tonight. So the jazz band was playing over here. We had catered meals. It was really nice. So that's where I've been tonight. That's why I'm so dressed up here. I'm usually in a t-shirt and joggers or something like that. But we had a really good time. I went with me and my mom went. My daughter was a server. So we sat at her table and and she was able to serve us our meal and our drinks and things like that. She did really good. Yeah, that's crazy. You can drink and get to the point where you're drunk and making a fool of yourself, but there's an issue with smoking. If that's true, that's ridiculous. I think YouTube needs to reevaluate their rules there. Um, hey, Faith Over Fear, it's good to see you. We're just chit chatting tonight. Completely open discussion, open panel. If you want to come up and say something, like I said, the only thing that's off limits is children. Anything else we can discuss. I was just telling everybody about the jazz concert and dinner that I went to tonight with my mom, and my daughter was a server. We had a really good time. Thank you. That's so nice of you, Faith Over Fear. I'm tired. My eyes are drooping. I can go in short bursts, like if I go out to a store or something like that, it's one store, maybe two at the most, and then it just drains me, and then I have to come home and lay down. So I've got 3 dogs running back and forth right in front of me. So if I seem distracted, that's why. But yeah, we went. We were there for a couple hours, so it's kind of got me worn out. But I appreciate you saying that I look great. That's really nice. Yes, dogs are the best. They can be a little annoying at times, but they are great. They are great. You guys want to see my puppy? This is my wild puppy. This is one that I got from Jimbo. Oh, thank you, Penny. I appreciate you coming in to show me some love. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Oh, you're going to start a chemo med next week. Is it going to be the pills or is it going to be an infusion? I mean, if that's too much information, you don't have to answer, but I'm just kind of curious. Hey, Angie. It's nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. Everything's open discussion. You can talk about whatever you want to in chat. If you want to come up on panel, you're more than welcome. I was saying I don't think I've ever had a panel guest, but we will figure it out, and I can get somebody up here if you want to come up. Oh, okay. The pills, methotrexate. I think. No, I don't think that's the one that I was on. I have heard of that one though. I did the infusion and the pills at the same time. I think I was taking 3 pills in the morning and 3 pills at night, so a total of 6 pills a day. And then I did the infusions once a week, once every 2 weeks. You probably know, it messes with your mind, the chemo. Like, I can't remember anything. I just lose track of my thoughts, and makes me feel like I'm going a little bit crazy sometimes. But that's okay. That's okay. I may have been taking them 3 times a day. I know that I took 3 pills at a time, but I can't remember if it was twice a day or 3 times a day. Be nice, guys. Be nice. But yeah, it does. It really messes with your mind. People that haven't been through it would be amazed at how quick, and it happens quickly too. Yeah, absolutely. Share it wherever you want to share it. I need some subscribers. I need some viewers. You can share my channel wherever you want to share my channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. And everybody feel free. If you're in a different Discord server besides the stand, share it. Share my stream, share my channel, tell them to come over and hang out with us. If you want to share it on Facebook, wherever you want to share it. I definitely need some subscribers. I definitely need to get my viewer numbers up. But we've only been here for about 13 minutes. So, some other people might drop in and hang out. It seems like I did hear about somebody having maybe a partial foot amputation. But I can't remember who it was either, Faith Over Fear. For the ones that weren't here last time when I did my stream about a week ago, I was told that I was cancer free, and that's why they went in and removed my colostomy bag and all of that. And when I went for my follow-up after my surgery, my surgeon said, something just told me when we got done with the surgery, he said everything was fine. There was no leakages, everything went back together perfectly. There was no blockages, no leaking, no anything. He said, but something was just telling me that I needed to remove that section. He said, it's kind of like a carpenter that gets done and it's fine, but he's not happy with the job. He said that's what he compared it to. So he went back in and removed the section that they had attached together. And he sent that section off for pathology. And that section did still show positive for cancer. This is the first time I'm sharing that publicly. I haven't told anybody that besides my mom and Jimbo. But he said that it could just be residual, from where it was there before. And that's what he's hoping for. So he did another test. It's like a really in-depth test that will tell us indefinitely whether the cancer gene is still there or not. And I'm waiting on the results for that. I go for a CT scan with my oncologist, and my oncologist and my surgeon are in contact with one another. So I go for a CT scan from my oncologist on the 22nd, and then I go a week later on the 29th for a follow-up on that. So I'm hoping when I go for my follow-up on that that he will have the results from that test. They did the test, I believe it was February 28th. And if you look at the calendar and that comes out to be a Saturday or a Sunday, I'm not lying. It's just the best I can recall, that it was done on February 28th. So that will be a month out because I'm going March 29th. So I'm hoping that within that month they've got the results back on that. And he will let me know how that came out, whether it was positive or negative. And then from that point, the oncologist will make the decision whether I need to do another round of chemo or what we're going to do from that point on. So I will keep you guys updated. I'm going to try to be, I am going to be more consistent with my live streams. I'm going to try to do at least once a week. It's hard. There's so many creators in our community that it's hard to find a slot, where nobody else is live. And I don't want to cross over anybody else, even though I don't have a lot of viewers. I still want to show respect to the other creators that do have larger viewerships, and if I go live at the same time they do, there's no chance of me getting my numbers up because they're going to be over there, instead of over here. So let me look at the chat. I haven't been looking. Let me take a look here. Oh, Penny Positive broke the femur bone. Oh my goodness. That's a bad one. My legs are getting better with the swelling. Yes, ma'am. It's causing me to have to get up and urinate about every 2 hours during the night. It's like I'm taking water pills, but I'm not. I was talking to my mom about it, and I said, it seems like I go through these cycles where my body will retain fluid and I will swell like that, and then it'll break free. And I, it'll start coming out like that. So I'm in that stage where it's coming out. So my swelling's gone down, but it's odd, it seems to go in a cycle, and I never really noticed it until this cycle. But yeah, I was just talking to my mom about that tonight. Let's see, TZ, been fighting the battle since 2012. Not curable, but living with cancer. Take maintenance chemo when it wakes up to put it back in dormant mode. Well, at least they can do that. That's good. I mean, having cancer is never great, but as long as they can keep fighting it, that's awesome. Definitely, we pray for everybody that needs prayer. I mean, everybody needs prayers, whether you're going through something or not, everybody needs prayers. So you seem to do that same thing, Faith Over Fear? Yeah, it's odd. It's like when it breaks loose, it's like I'm taking water pills, and I'm going to the bathroom like every couple hours. And then, it'll do that for so long, and then it'll stop, where I go maybe 2 to 3 times a day to the bathroom, to urinate. And that's when the swelling flares up, is when the urination stops and my body is like holding on to that fluid. It's really odd. I don't understand why it does that. But our bodies are amazing things. They, Hey, Jimbo. Just got to Buc-ee's. Awesome. We're just hanging out. I told everybody that was in here about that pathology coming back positive when they sent that piece of my colon off. I still haven't gotten the results from the blood test yet. I'm hoping when I go back for my follow-up from my CT scan on the 29th, I'm hoping that they have the results from that blood test, because from what I understand, that will tell us indefinitely whether there's cancer present or not. And it'll be a month. So hopefully within a month, they have the results back. River. Those virtual reality things can be a trip, I'm telling you. Yeah, I did make him keep it a secret. He's known since that day. I called him that day that I found out. He's like a brother to me. You know, when I say love you, brother, it's not just something I say. Jimbo's an awesome man, and you know the things that have been said about him and his family are ridiculous. He's an awesome person, and I've known that since the day I met him. And he's, you know, I lost my only brother years ago. You know, I had one blood sister and one blood brother, and I lost my only brother. And I really feel like Jimbo feels like a brother to me now. It's awesome. I love you too, brother. You know, there's been some nasty things said from people that don't even know him, and then they want to throw up in our faces. You don't even know this man. Well, guess what? You don't either. You know, I do. And, you know, and I'm not throwing down on the ones that live in other states and can't meet him and things like that. That's understandable, you know, but even you, over the past year or so, have gotten to see what type of family they are and what type of man he is. You know, and it was amazing to me the way it worked out. I don't even know how I came by his channel, but I came in right when the split happened between him and Kemper, and he lost most of his mods. I had never been a mod in my life. You know, I think my account has been active since 2012. I mean, I've watched YouTube videos, you know, chatted on YouTube, things like that for over 10 years, but I had never been a mod. I had never met a creator. I had never done anything like that. But when I came in and I saw the position he had been put in, you know, I emailed him and I said, listen, I know you don't know me, and I've never been a mod in my life, but if you need help, I'm here. I had just taken my leave from work. I said, you know, I can be there any time of the day or night. If you go live, you know, I'll do my best. I'll learn what a mod is and what I need to do. You know, and I put this all in an email and I sent it to this man that had no idea who I was, and I didn't know him. And he emailed me back and said, awesome, you know, that we'll give it a shot. And come to find out, He lives 6 minutes away from me. I mean, tell me that's not God, you know. And I know it's small to some people, but he came in my life at a time where I needed him and he needed me, you know. He needed me as a mod and as a, you know, a person. And I had just lost my husband. I was just diagnosed with cancer. My life was turned upside down and poured out, not just upside down. I mean, my life was a freaking mess at the time, you know, and along comes Jimbo and his family, and they picked me up, and they have held me, y'all. They have held me in the palm of their hands, and they have been there for me, and I have been there for them. And I know I could call him at 3 a.m. and he'd say, "What do you need, sister?" You know, um, and I would do the same for him, you know, and it's just amazing. You know, he lives 6 minutes away. You know, it's crazy. It really, really is. I mean, he does have a heart of gold, Angie, and I don't understand these people that say these awful things. He is a good friend to everybody, Faith Over Fear. I mean, he takes phone call after phone call after phone call, message after message. He doesn't ignore people. You know, he tries to respond to everybody that reaches out to him. Um, it's amazing. Thank you, Strawberry Kisses. I appreciate the prayers. Like I said, like I've said before, prayers are free and they're greatly appreciated. The power of prayer, y'all, it's real. It's real. He did hire me on the spot. I'm still waiting on that check, though. It's been about a year. I think it might have gotten lost in the mail. I agree, Lene. He is a great family man, you know, and he has a beautiful family. And even his kids, I mean, his daughter dropped what she was doing on Thanksgiving and said, "E Squared is coming over here right now. I don't care what she's doing. I'm going to get her." And she drove down here and picked me up, y'all. She called me and she said, "I'm outside your house right now. Come on." And I was like, okay. They are amazing. I mean, all of them. It's awesome. Yeah, Faith Over Fear, and it's odd the way that he chose us. Like I said, he didn't know me either, and he gave me a chance, you know. And we've got some of the best mods in this community. I mean, I really, really believe that. Yes, Penny, that's the short version of what I was trying to say. I kind of drawed it out a little bit, but God puts us where we need to be when we need to be there, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. Hi, Daisy Joe. I'm glad you're listening. It's good to see you. That's right, Shay. You know, he's a really important person in my life, and I know it sounds cliche and people probably roll their eyes, but it's true, you know. I showed my puppy, Jimbo, and you weren't in here yet. It's wild. Look how big it is. It's wild, though. These other dogs have made it that way. They fuss and fight, and not really. They're playing, but it's constant. If they're not asleep, they're rolling around in the floor on top of each other. I'm telling you. And it still will not go down them back steps. It will not go past my porch. And I hate to force it. So if it wants to use the bathroom on the porch, that's what a broom is for. I just sweep it up. But I figured by now it would be, it would gain confidence, watching the other dogs. The other dogs, as soon as I open that door, they shoot out like a rocket, and run down them steps. And it'll run out, but it stops right at the edge of those steps. It will not go any further. Yeah, that is a lot of puppy. I do have a lot of respect for their family as well, Angie. They're really good people, no matter what other people want to say. Yeah, once it does it once, it'll do it every time. And I know that it's just getting it to do it that one time. Like I said, I don't want to force it or pull it or, anything like that. So, I'm just giving it time. But like I said, I figured once it saw the other dogs do it so many times, it would follow suit, but it's just not gotten there yet. But I'm letting it take its own time. And I try to tell my one dog, my other female, I had a female and a male when she came into the family. Her name's Luna. And when Luna came into the family, I had one female and one male because my male dog is kind of territorial with males. So I wanted a female. So now the female is trying to be territorial and wants to be big and bad. And I keep trying to tell her name is Lily. And I keep trying to tell her, Lily, it's not going to be long till she's way bigger than you. You better lay off. She's going to remember all those times you rolled her around in the floor, and she's going to get her revenge when she gets a little bit bigger. It won't be long. She's almost as big as Lily, and Lily's 3 years old. That's a good idea, Faith Over Fear, to put a treat on each step. And maybe she'll be so focused on the treats that she won't even realize. She'll get down to the last step and look up and be like, oh, heck, how did I get down here? So maybe I'll try that. That's a good idea. I haven't tried that yet. I've gotten down to the bottom of the step, and called her and encouraged her, and like I said, she watches the other dogs go up and down. She's not comfortable doing it yet, and I don't want to force it, So I've got Buddy, Lily, and Luna. Buddy was my first dog. He's about 5 years old. We lived in an apartment complex, and for about the first year of his life, he was just an apartment dog. He raised himself for the first year of his life, and when he was really young, he got hit in the parking lot, and it messed one of his front paws up. So one of his front paws is crooked. And somebody else that lived in the apartment complex said that they watched this dog, because in an apartment complex, people throw couches out and all kinds of crap. They watched this dog drag a couch cushion back behind the building and heal itself. Nobody took it to the vet. I didn't know it was going on, or I would have most definitely taken it. I didn't even know he existed until he was about 2.5 years old, and it was already completely healed. And I did talk to a vet about it, and they said at this point, if he's able to run and play and go up and down steps, because I lived upstairs in the apartment complex, and he would go up and down the steps just fine. They said that doing surgery at that point would cause more trauma than just leaving it be. They said later on, when he gets older, he may end up getting arthritis in it, or getting the ulcers, the skin ulcers from it hitting the ground the wrong way. So it's something that we may have to address in the future. But at this point, he's still doing good. He's very territorial, and it's weird because that's how he got his name Buddy, because he would just go from one apartment to another. He was everybody's buddy. And but now, since we took him in and he knows that it's his forever home, he doesn't like people. Nobody besides me and my 2 children. And he loved my husband. But now that my husband's gone, it's 3 people are the only, even my mom, I have to put him out in the yard that is fenced in. I have to put him out when my mom comes over and my dad comes over. It's so weird. It's like he knew, hey, this is my home. I finally found a real home, and I don't like people being around it. It's so weird, but that's Buddy. We've learned to adapt to it and live with it. Like I said, last year I had a portion of my backyard fenced in. That way, when I let them out, because I was having to walk 2 of them on leashes. So when my husband was diagnosed with cancer and he couldn't help me anymore, I was having to take them out on walks by myself, trying to handle 2 dogs, on leashes with their harnesses. And it was just getting too much for me. So I had that portion of my yard fenced in. That way I could just let them out, let them play, lay in the sun. And that's another thing. Buddy always wanted to lay down on me. He wanted to lay in the sun, and feel that warmth. And it made me feel bad because I can't, I couldn't just stand there forever. So now he can do that. And he loves it. Let me take a look at chat here. It does make me so upset also, Angie. I had to step back for a while. I'm sure you guys noticed. I had to take a step back and just not be on for a little while because it was affecting me mentally, hearing that stuff and seeing that stuff. Here's Buddy. Here's my buddy. He doesn't like to be picked up, so I can't pick him up. But this is my buddy right here. He loves me better than anything in this world. He really, really does. And it makes me feel good. Quit, guys. Give me that. I'll be right back, guys. I'm sorry. they had something they didn't need to have, of course. Does anybody want to come up and join me on panel? You're more than welcome to. I don't think I've ever had a panel guest, but we'll figure it out together. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about, you know, how people have been treated, medical issues, how big of a fool people make of themselves on YouTube. I'm sure I've done it too. But you're more than welcome to come join me if you'd like. I think they are jealous, and it's not like a jealousy over, oh, you've got this, I wish I had that, or you look this way, I wish I looked that way. You know, it's not that kind of jealousy. I think it's got like a hump on my head. I think it's the jealousy of their family and how close they are, and how they interact with each other. And it's real. You know, I think I heard the other day that, oh, well, he acts this way when the camera's on. I wonder how he acts when the camera's off. Let me tell you guys right now, Jimbo is Jimbo. He is the same no matter if the camera's on or the camera's off. Of course, he has his moments where he gets upset, and we all do. But he doesn't put on a show. You know what I mean? He doesn't do anything just to look a certain way, or portray his family or himself in a certain light. He really doesn't. He's just himself. I mean, you know, and they can say what they want to say. They can think what they want to think, but he is who he is, and he doesn't pretend, you know. He doesn't have any reason to. Why would you? Just like me, what you see is what you get, you know. I don't try to talk a certain way or act a certain way or anything like that. Like I said, the only reason I'm even dressed up the way I am is because I've been out to a function. I would generally be in sweats and a t-shirt. You know, I'm just that kind of girl, sweats and a t-shirt kind of girl. I have no reason to pretend, you know, to be something that I'm not. Exactly. He's real. Like I'm, you know, like I've said, what you see is what you get, you know. He has no reason to pretend. And but for them even thinking that or saying that, that tells me that they're not portraying themselves the way they really are. Because why would you even think that? I mean, that wouldn't even cross my mind that, oh, they're playing a part or they're acting this way, you know, while the camera's on, and another way when the camera's off. Hey, that girl 77, how are you? Why would you even think that? I mean, that wouldn't even cross my mind. I just think that you turn the camera on and you talk to people and you hang out, you know. for that to even cross your mind, then that means at some point you're not being true to who you are. This is not ABC or NBC where you're reading a script, and being an actor or an actress. That's not what YouTube is meant to be. I guess there's some channels that do that, but they let you know that's what they're doing, but as far as the kind of stuff that we do in the lives and stuff, to me, I'm just hanging out with my friends, and that's how he looks at it as well, I'm sure. Be good, be nice, Lily, be nice. I'm telling you, these dogs. Be nice. Hey, be nice. Even though they're playing, I hate when they growl at each other like that. And Lily's the worst for it. She likes to growl and act like she's big and bad, even though she's just playing. Does anybody have anything that they want to get off their chest? Anything that you've heard lately or a while back, that bothered you or you feel like wasn't true or wasn't right? I think we all heard the Molly rant, and I'm not even going to go into that. And that definitely wasn't right. It wasn't true. And like I said, that's the only rule that I've thought of as far as my channel is that kids are completely off limits. I don't care if everybody decides to talk about kids. It will not happen on my channel, period. Let's see what Penny's saying here. I will be following your journey. I lost my breast cancer. It went to her brain. I took care of her, then took care of my brother who had cancer. Everyone, cancer sucks. It does suck. My husband had stage 3 lung cancer, and he had 2 tumors in his lungs, and where they were located, they were not able, it was non-operable. So they were not able to remove the tumors, period, in his lungs. And he lost that battle. He made it right at a year before it took him away. Mine, thank goodness, was able to be operated. They can say whatever they want to say about the 13 pounds. I never said that the tumor itself was 13 pounds. I said when I went into surgery, I weighed a certain amount. And when I came out of surgery, I was 13 pounds lighter. That's going to include both of my ovaries, the tumor, the fluid, tumors, plural. I had a huge one in my lower abdomen that wrapped around both ovaries. And then I also had one that was attached to my abdominal lining, my abdominal wall. So, I mean, why would I lie about that? I mean, when I came out of surgery, I was 13 pounds lighter. The tumor itself was not 13 pounds, but including everything they removed, it totaled up to 13 pounds. That was the first surgery that I had. That's when they thought it was ovarian cancer. When I was first diagnosed, that's what I was diagnosed with. was stage 3, I believe, ovarian cancer. And then I was told, okay, we got it removed. Everything's out of there. It's looking good. You'll do 1 round of chemo just to make sure there's no cells hanging out, and you'll be good to go. And I'm like, okay, cancer sucks, but that doesn't sound too bad. Let's get it, And then I received a phone call from the surgeon, and I love my surgeon, y'all. He's awesome. But he had to call me that day personally, not a nurse, not a receptionist. The surgeon himself called me personally and said, listen, we sent the tumor off for pathology. This type of cancer does not originate in the ovaries, so it's coming from somewhere else. We need to find it. And I was like, oh, okay. I kind of let the wind out of my sails a little bit. But, I've always had that fighting spirit. I was like, okay, what do we need to do? What do I need to do? He said, well, the type of cancer it is, which is adenocarcinoma, he said it generally originates either in the stomach or the colon. He said, so we'll go in all at one time and we'll do a scope. We'll go in through the top to look at the stomach. And we'll go in through the bottom to look at the colon. He said, and we'll see if that's where it's coming from. He said, but generally it will originate from one of those 2 places. So he got me in fairly quickly for the scopes. They found the tumor that was almost causing 100% blockage in my colon. He let me know that was what he had found. So I went back in for my second surgery. He said, I'm going to tell you right now, the purpose of this surgery is not like the last one. He said, when I went in on the last one, I was 100% in there to remove the tumor. He said, this one, I'm going in to place a colostomy bag because you have a blockage, and that's what needs to be addressed quickly. He said, if I'm able to remove the tumor during this surgery, I absolutely will. He said, if not, my main purpose during this surgery is to take care of that blockage and place the colostomy bag. I said, okay. So I went in for my second surgery. I woke up in recovery. They gave me the news that not only were they able to clear the blockage by placing the colostomy bag, but they were also able to remove the tumor. So thank the good Lord, they were able to do that all in one surgery. That saved me from another surgery. So now we knew that this was stage 4 colon cancer, and it was considered stage 4 because it had spread to 2 separate locations in my body that were fairly far away from the original tumor, and that's what they judged the stages by. So he said, I said, okay, what happens now? I was completely new to cancer. When my husband was diagnosed with cancer, that's the first cancer I had ever been around in my life. Thank the good Lord. I had never had a family member or a close friend or anybody that I knew that had cancer. I did have an aunt that lived in Ohio that had ovarian cancer, but she only made it weeks after she found out. So I wasn't around her or, familiar with anything. So I asked him what happens now. Because again, he was able to remove the tumor just like he did the first time. He's awesome, y'all. He really is. So he said, here's what we're going to do. He said, just because, like the first time I explained that some cells can be left behind, he said, so we're going to do a round of chemo. We're going to do the infusion as well as the pills. And then we're going to go from there. So we did that. I had my last treatment December 6th, this past December 6th. I got to ring the bell. It was awesome. I've got some pictures. While my mom does, I need to get those posted for y'all to see of me ringing the bell. If you aren't familiar with cancer and don't understand what ringing the bell means, ringing the bell is a big deal when you have cancer. That means that you're done with your treatment. And you're finished, and it's an awesome feeling. It may sound dumb, it may sound like a small thing, a silly ritual, and in a way I guess it is, but it's a big deal. It means that you're done at that point. So that was this past December 6th, just about 4 months ago. And then, like I explained earlier, they went in to remove the colostomy bag. They sent another piece of my colon off for pathology, still showing positive. So now we're at the point where they did a blood test. It's a really, really extensive blood test that's supposed to, I guess, tell us pretty much indefinitely if I still have the cancer genes or cells or whatever it's testing for. So that's what I'm waiting on now, is the results from that. Hopefully I'll get those soon and I can update y'all and let you know. But, they would have never removed my colostomy bag if they weren't fairly certain that the cancer was gone. Because why would you remove it if you're going to have to go right back in and place it again? So hopefully it was just some residual stuff. He said, it was right at the spot where the original tumor was. He said, so there may have just been some residual cells there that hadn't grown into anything. He said, because I can't see anything. It couldn't even be seen under a microscope from what I understand. So he said, it could just be a few little cells that were left over. So that's what we're praying for. That's what we're hoping for. And we're going to go from there. I'm going to try to start going live at least once a week. Let me look at the chat here. Guys, I'm still learning how to pay attention to chat and pay attention to what I'm talking about. So just bear with me. I promise that I'll get better. Let's see. Exactly. Bringing innocent children into the mess and bullying the disabled. I can't support that either. Even if it's one of their children, I can't. That's my only rule over here. Nana, I'm glad you didn't see it. It was 777, and she called her a B word. She called her, I mean, every name in the book. It was horrible, horrible to talk about a child that way. Um, oh, you're probably already gone, but see you later, Jimbo. Yes, Angie. Lung cancer is horrible, horrible to watch somebody suffer with lung cancer because, I mean, they can't breathe. It's like somebody's holding a pillow over their face at all times. I mean, any kind of cancer is horrible, but to not be able to breathe and to feel like somebody's smothering you, I mean, that's horrible. My husband died at home with me as well. Oh, thank you, Penny. I appreciate your support. And I appreciate that you believe in me. You know, even if 6 months from now I still just have 10 people watching, that's fine, you know, because that tells me that those 10 people believe in me, you know. Um, Thank you, Penny. I appreciate you saying that I'm doing great. And like I said, faith over fear. Your support means a lot to me. You know, like I said. Oh, hey, mystery lady. I didn't even see you sneak in here. It's good to see you. Very good to see you. Cancer is an ugly word. It just to hear it just sounds gross. It does. And I do have great doctors, really, really great doctors. I lucked out because, you know, I just lost my husband. I said, I don't want the doctors that he had. Hush. I don't want the doctors that he had. You know, at that point, I didn't know whether something they did or didn't do was the cause that he passed. You know, probably not. I mean, he had cancer. You know, let's be real. But I just kind of picked, and we have a big research hospital here that's not too far away from me. Hush. So, you know, I wanted to have them be a part of my team because that's what they do. They do research and teaching. They're a teaching hospital. Um, so that's where my surgeon is. Now, my oncologist is at a off-site location that's closer to me because I have to go there more often because he's the one that takes care of my chemo and my checkups and all of that. So I wanted them to be a little bit closer. So all of their nurses and all of their doctors are trained by the teaching hospital, but they just have an off-site office, you know, like I said, that's closer to me. It's still almost an hour away, but the hospital itself is 2 hours away. So, you know, it cuts my travel time in half to be able to go to the off-site clinic for my chemo and things like that. Oh, good night, Penny. It was so great to have you here. I appreciate it. Am I buffering or anything, guys? Because I had a little box that popped up that said my Wi-Fi was unstable. Has anybody had any problems? I don't see myself freezing or anything like that. No buffering? Good, Mr. Lady. And I was even put in the crosshairs when I first came out on Jimbo's channel after my first surgery and kind of told my story and what was going on and that I had cancer. I was told, oh, she don't have cancer. And it was stupid reasons, like she's too fat to have cancer. Well, guess what? Obesity is not really a cause, but obesity is bad for colon cancer. Um, and it's common for people that are obese to have colon cancer. Um, I've lost almost 70 pounds since this all first started. And then I was told, oh, she vapes. She don't have cancer because she vapes. Well, guess what? That's a personal choice. That has nothing to do with what's going on inside my body. Is it good for me? Probably not. But, I've got enough stuff going on that I'm not going to put myself through the torment of taking that away as well. Yeah, go ahead. I'm open for questions, Mr. Lady. Absolutely. See you later, Faith Over Fear. It's great. It was great to have you here. Thank you for being here. Watch for notifications. I'm going to start coming on more often. Glad you're still here, Lene. Like I said, if we get 6 months out or 8 months out and I still only have 6, 8, 10 people in here, that's fine with me, because that tells me that those 6, 8, 10 people are supporting me and here for me, not just here to cause trouble or do whatever it is that people do. What is it that makes me wake up every day with a smile? I don't, Mystery Lady. It's been really hard to stay positive during this process. But back when I was first diagnosed, I told my mom, I said, I can either, because me and my daughter's getting ready to turn 18. And we were leaving the hospital one day and we were joking around and, and my mom didn't think it was appropriate. And I told her, I said, Mom, I can either laugh about it or cry about it. That's the way I look at it. And I can't cry about it every day. Do I have my moments? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I have to stay positive. I do have a therapist that also helps me. I do take antidepressants. They help me. Um, am I fake? No. I come on here when I feel like it, when I feel good, when I'm not down and out. That's when you guys see me. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to come on here and just cry and, oh, what was me, blah, blah, blah. Have I done that? Yes, absolutely, I've done that. Have I come online and cried? Absolutely, I've come online and cried. What keeps me going, I believe, is God. And that sounds cliche, I know, and people will probably roll their eyes at that as well. But I pray, and I have kids. You know what I mean? I have 2 teenagers that are old enough to know what's going on to a certain extent. Are they confused? Are they scared? Absolutely they are. But my children, other than God, my children keep me going. Um, because I'm all they have right now. They have a dad that they see from time to time. He's always lived far away. He's just recently moved even farther away, um, over 3 hours away. Um, so I can't, if I just lay down and give up, I believe that your body reacts to your attitude. And I went through that as well, Mystery Lady. I lost my husband to cancer in January of last year, January of 22. And then 3 months later, I was diagnosed with cancer. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was at a low point. I said earlier before you came in here, my life was not only turned upside down, it was shaken out. I mean, I felt like I was stripped to the core, Um, I've had a rough year, but I believe that your body physically reacts to how you react mentally to things. So I believe that had I just laid down, literally laid down in a bed or on a couch and given up, I believe that more tumors would have grown. And that may sound stupid, but I believe that. Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Lady. Um, you feel like that nothing's ever going to be right with your world again. I mean, absolutely. I understand that. And I felt that way. I don't want you to ever feel like you're the only one that feels that way, because I felt that way. That, my world and your world will never be the same, but but I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. Your world will never be the same, but it'll still be there. You'll have a world again, and it'll take a little while. It really will. You know, you said it had been 3 months ago. You're just starting the process. And I'm just being honest with you. I'm not one that's going to sit here and say, okay, tomorrow when you wake up, everything's going to be great. It's not. It's really not. It's going to take some time. But you'll learn to live again. That's what I'm trying to say. You will learn to live again, if that makes sense. It will be different. It won't be the same as it was, but you will have a life. You will. I promise you, you will. You'll never forget that person. Like I said, it's not going to be the same as it was, but you will have a life again. And I'm sorry that you're going through this. It's horrible. I know. I've been there. And if you ever need somebody to talk to, Jimbo has my phone number. I'm giving him permission right here on this line to let you have that if you want to text me or call me. Absolutely feel free to do that. Because people can be there for you, and that's awesome. But somebody that's been through what you've been through can see it in a way that others can't, if that makes sense. Even my mom, she's never lost a husband. My dad is still living. She still has him. Has she been there for me? Absolutely. Absolutely. Other than my children, my mom has been my rock. But she can't see it through my eyes because she hasn't been there yet. you know so it's different. It really is. But you will have a life again, I promise you. I know it feels awful right now. Like I said, you're just at the 3-month mark, and I know that you feel so empty and so lost, and you feel like the world will never be right again, but it will. Like I said, it won't be the same, but you will have a life again, I promise you. I still catch myself thinking that when I walk out of the bedroom, he's going to be sitting on the couch, And it's been 15 months for me, I still catch myself having these thoughts. Do they last as long as they used to? No. Do they, are the feelings that I'm going to walk out and he's going to be sitting there, are they as strong as they used to be? No. They're just fleeting moments, and you just have to allow those moments to come and then go. You've got to be true to yourself. You've got to allow yourself to feel those feelings, and you've got to allow yourself to understand that he's no longer there. And if I'm being too blunt, I apologize. And you can't seclude yourself. I went through the same thing where I didn't want to be around anybody. I didn't want to get up off the couch, and I went through that as well. Was I with my husband 40 plus years? I wish. I only got a little over 10, So I'm not exactly where you are, but I do understand. I couldn't imagine having somebody there for 40 plus years and then they're no longer there. Everybody has that spot where they used to sit, or a certain spot where they used to stand, maybe look out the window, whatever, and you're going to have those moments where you look in that spot and you expect him to be there and he's not. But like I said, you've got to allow yourself to have those feelings. You can't push them away. You can't. Because the longer that you push them away and the longer that you stay in that denial, and you may not be, I'm just speaking from what I went through. The longer that you push those feelings away and you don't allow yourself to have those feelings, the longer it's going to take for them to get smaller and smaller. Good. I'm glad I'm not being too blunt, because like I said, people want to baby you. People want to coddle you when these things happen, and that's great. It's great to have people there, to have people that care about you and want to make you feel better at all costs. You know what I mean? Um, and I get that, but you have to be true to yourself. You have to allow yourself to know he's no longer here, and my husband, even after being diagnosed with cancer, would not talk to me about like end of life preparations. When he passed away, it was sudden. Yes, we knew he had cancer, but he was not bedbound by any means. He had just been to Walmart the day before by himself, pushing a buggy, walking around. Um, he was to the point where he was on oxygen just about 100% of the time. But did we think he was going to pass when he did? Absolutely not. It came out of nowhere, you know. So when he passed, I had no idea what he wanted. I didn't know if he wanted to be buried. I didn't know if he wanted to be cremated. He wouldn't allow me to speak to him about those types of things. Um, I guess he was the type of person that thought you speak things into existence, So he wouldn't talk about it. So I decided, and it was mostly a financial decision. I'm not gonna lie about it. I decided to have him cremated. Um, it was about 1/4 of the cost. Got a beautiful urn. Um, and he's with me in the living room, you know. Um, I've had people, that think, well, having those ashes right there, and I know that's not him, but having those ashes right there, doesn't that make it worse? Doesn't that make, and it really doesn't. Not for me, everybody's different. Um, if I'm having a rough day, and this sounds crazy, and I may get a 5150, but if I'm having a rough day, I might look over at that urn and say, I need your help. I'm having a rough time. I need you to help me through this. And then I'll pray to God too, I know he's not there. But, prayer helps me. And it may not help everybody, but it helps me. It gives me a little bit of peace. Does it make all the feelings go away? It doesn't. Will you question God and why did this happen? And do you exist? Absolutely, you will. But I would get mad at God. I would. I'd say, why did you allow this to happen? Why do you take good people? And but I also find peace through God. I've been at my lowest of lows, and I'll hit my knees and I'll just pray and pray and pray. And when I pour it all out and then I get up, I feel 1,000 pounds lighter, Um, so you bounce back and forth, and you will for a while. But like I said, if you ever need to talk or text or whatever, my email is in my about section. If you would rather do email, that's fine with me. Some people are private people and, don't want to talk or text on their phone, and that's fine. That's absolutely understandable. We can email, um, Discord. You can private chat in Discord. I'm fine with doing that. Um, whatever you need. And I know Jimbo's there for you. I know he talks to you a lot. But if he's ever at a ball game or busy or with his family, whatever the case may be, um, and he's not able to talk to you at a moment where you absolutely need somebody, reach out to me. Um, I'm not 100% the best in email as far as checking them and responding to them, so email may not be the best way to go. But if you want to chat with me in Discord, or like I said, on the phone, whatever the case may be, I'm fine with that. Um, but it will get better, and I know you hate to hear that because I did, but it will. Like I said, those moments will get, and you never want the moments to go away. That's not where I'm going with this, but the moments will get easier to get through. Um, they will. I promise you, they will. But secluding yourself from everyone is not the way to do it. It's not, and if you've been doing that for the 3 months, start slow, but get yourself out there a little bit. Um, you know, like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. Um, you're not just going to start going out to parties and hanging out and having fun with friends, and that's understandable. But start slow. If you have a family member that's been there for you a lot, go out to lunch. Go out to dinner one night. Um, oh, my dog's got the hiccups. It freaked me out for a minute. I didn't know what was going on, but it's got the hiccups. Um, start slow. Pick one person that is there for you, and that and I found myself talking about him all the time. And I told my mom, I said, "Oh, mystery lady, you have to start getting out a little bit." And I know that's hard to hear, and I know it seems like something that's never going to happen. But like I said, pick somebody and start slow. Um, or invite them over to have lunch at your house. If that's your safe spot and you don't want to leave and come in to an empty home, invite somebody over and have lunch. I'm not saying have a 4-hour get together or anything like that. I know you would rather be alone, but you have to have somebody. You know what I mean? And like I said, I know that it seems like the biggest task in the world right now. And I know it seems impossible, but I promise you just have to start slow and get yourself out there. And what I was getting ready to say earlier, I noticed myself, that's all I would talk about for a long time. And some people go the opposite way, where they won't talk about them at all because it's too hard. But I went the way to where that's all I talked about was him. And I noticed myself doing it. And I told my mom, I was like, if you ever get sick of me, and if you notice, the only people I mention is my mom and my kids, because that's the only people I would talk to for a long, long time until I found my stand family. And that's understandable. If you're not ready, then give it some time. Like I said, start slow. Start with one person. Don't invite a whole family over where it overstimulates you. Start slow, start small, and just kind of work yourself back into reality. Because, like I said, you will have a life again. I promise you. It won't be the same life, but you will have a life again. Be nice. Sorry, Thelma was calling me. I've got to let her know that I'm live. Sorry about that. That was Thelma calling me. Hey, be nice. Stop. My dogs do that too. If they hear a dog on the television or on my laptop, they go nuts. These dogs, they just playing. They sound like they're vicious, but I'm telling you, they're little dogs. One of them's the puppy that I got from Jimbo, and they sound so vicious, but they're just playing. But just seeing you say that, maybe someday, that's a step. Whether you realize it or not, that's a step. That's a step. That gives me hope that you see a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's a long tunnel. It really is. But I love that you said that. Because that gives me hope that that you're going to be able to one of these days. And like I said, it's brand new for you. I don't expect you to just pack it up and move on and, hey, let's go out and have drinks. It's not going to be that way. Thelma is amazing. She's awesome. She really is. We must have bummed everybody out. I think it's just me and you now. But it was an important conversation, and I'm glad we could talk. I'm glad we could talk about it. I've never really got to talk to you a whole lot, just a little bit here and there in chat. So I'm glad we got to have a good conversation. Oh, Mystery Lady, I'm so sorry. I'm I'm so sorry that you went through that. But I'm glad that it seems, if he's been gone for 3 months and you did that for 2 months, that tells me that, those feelings are passing. So see, you can see what I'm saying. It's going to be a progression. And, you're going to have these feelings, but they will pass. But never feel like you don't deserve to be here. He would not want that. I promise you. Never feel like, hey, stop fighting. They're not even touching each other. They're just trying to scare each other. It's crazy. But it's going to be a progression, even if it's a slow progression. It's like a roller coaster. But never feel like you don't deserve to be here. Because I went through that as well. Stop. You're a little couple-month-old puppy. You need to stop. People love you. People need you. Whether you feel like that's true or not, it is. There are people in this world that need you and that love you and that would not want you not to be here. I promise you that. Be nice. They are. This one is wild. I'm telling you. I can't even pick it up. Look at it. It's wild. Settle down. It's almost as big as my 3-year-old dog already. Hey, stop. I wonder if they're all crazy like the surface, just mine. They are so cute. You'd think they'd be all cuddly and lovable, but no, not mine. I can't cuddle mine. Here's Buddy. He wants some attention. He's like, make these puppies stop. He's my old man. He don't get into the fights. He tries to stay away. The puppy tries to drag him into it, but he's like, I'm going to my mommy. He's like, help me, mommy. These puppies are crazy. I call him my old man because he's not into all that rolling around on the floor and fussing and fighting. Yeah, he went through a lot in his first year of life. I don't think you were in here when I was telling his story. He was an apartment complex dog where he basically raised himself for the whole first year of his life. When he was about 3 or 4 months old, a car backed over his paw. So he's got a paw that's crooked because he healed it himself. Somebody else that lived in the apartment said they watched him. In an apartment complex, people are throwing away couches and chairs and love seats. They said they watched him get a couch cushion and drag it all the way from the dumpsters to the back of the building. And he laid on that couch cushion and licked his paw and healed it basically himself. And people at the apartments would give him food and water and stuff. But nobody was going to spend the money to take him to the vet. So when I got him and I took him in, and he was my dog, I contacted a vet, and they said that, because he was able to run and play, and he was younger then, he wasn't an old man like he is now, but they said doing surgery at that point, because it had already fully healed, would be more trauma than it would be worth. Later in life, he may end up getting arthritis in it, or he may end up getting the skin ulcers where it's hitting the wrong spot, not the pads. So it may be something later in life that we have to deal with. I do see him holding it up more than he used to. So it is something that may need to be addressed later, but he's still able to run and play and run up and down steps. And the vet said as long as he's able to do that stuff, it's best to just leave it alone. Hey, Tien, it's good to see you here. Yeah, I was talking about my dog. So that's his story. He basically raised himself till we took him in. That's how he got his name Buddy, because he was everybody's buddy. He went from door to door at the apartments, seeing what kind of snacks he could get. Okay, mystery lady. Like I said, the offer's open. If you ever need to talk, you can email me, message me on Discord, get my phone number from Jimbo, whatever you need to do, I'm here. I'm glad to have you. Glad we got to have our discussion. I don't know what Thelma wanted. Thelma was calling me and telling her that I was live. Do you know if Jimbo was going on at 11 or 12? Oh, it's midnight. Yeah. I don't know who the other three are that are in here that aren't chatting. Lots of love and prayers to you, too. Yeah, I got up to double digits tonight. I got up to, I think, 13 or 14 people at one time. But the way I look at it is, even if 6 months from now or 8 months from now, I still just have 10 people in here, that's fine with me. That tells me that those 10 people support me. And they're here for me, not just here to stir up trouble. But I expect maybe more and more people to start joining as I go along. I'm going to start trying to be more consistent with my lives. I'm going to try to start doing, it's not going to be a set schedule, because I can't do that, because sometimes I just don't feel up to it. So I can't say, every Tuesday at 4 or every Wednesday at 5. I can't make those promises, but I am going to try to go at least once a week. and we'll go from there. You know how it is, you can't make promises because you may not feel up to it at that point in time. Hush, be nice. These dogs are wild tonight. Oh, awesome. You're at 88. I'm at, let's see here. 259. 259 is where I'm at. So is that what you're going to be doing on your channel? Are you still going to be doing the furniture stuff, or are you just going to kind of hang out and chat? See, I started mine on my medical journey, and then it kind of, you can only take that so far. So I still give updates, absolutely. I'm still going to share with you guys any news that I hear, or, anything like that, the process that I'm going through. Like I said, that can only get you so far. So that's what kind of stopped me in my tracks. So now I'm just kind of doing open discussion, whatever anybody wants to talk about, whether it's, oh, that's awesome. Can you tell me the name of the group so I can look into it? I'll join. Yeah, I have Facebook. If you want to, you can get my name from Jimbo, and which I'm sure everybody already knows it by now anyway, the nosy people anyway. So if you want to get my name, if you don't have it, you can send me a friend's request. And then I'll join the Facebook group too. Do you have a personal page as well as the Facebook group, or just the Facebook group? Either one is fine. If you don't feel comfortable sharing your personal page, that's understandable. We won't say it on here, but we can definitely hook up on Facebook. Absolutely. Healed by Christ. That's what I've talked about all night tonight. God has gotten me where I am. And I wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for him. Absolutely. I'm glad you look at it that way as well. Okay. Yeah. He can definitely give you my information, and then you can send me a request. I don't know who the other person that's in here is that's not chatting. Whoever you are, you're welcome to chat with us. If you want to sit here and listen to my dogs fight, you might as well chat with us. Oh, I hate that you're not feeling well. but I completely understand. I'll talk to you later. Just send me a request and we'll chat on Facebook when you feel up to it. There's 3 more people in here. Do you guys want to chat? I love you too. I do as well, Tien. I do also. Does anybody else that's in here want to chat? Or are you just hanging out in the bushes? Either one is fine with me. A view is a view. Good night. Talk to you soon. Love you. Oh, that's so sweet. She got me some Buc-ee's nuggets. Them again. Like I said, you're more than welcome to chat with me. If not, I'm going to end my live. Well, if nobody else wants to chat, I'm going to go ahead and end the live. It's been a long one. I may have some people in the replay crew. I'm not sure. But I love you all, and I hope you have a good night. And I'll see you guys later.